Hey, it's Neve, and welcome to day 7 of Shine Video Challenge. I have a very special prompt for you guys today. We're all going to be able to connect even more to each other, I believe, after today. So before I get to that, I first want to remind you that if you're watching this late or you've fallen behind, it's never too late to join us. We would totally love to have you on the challenge, and you'll find some useful links to get yourself caught up in the description of this video. Okay, so that brings me to today's tip, which is one that I think is actually really important to making great videos where people feel that sense of connection with you, where they feel like they're having a real conversation with you in the room. And that is how to frame your videos. Where do you want to be inside this video frame? How close to the camera? All of that good stuff. So here's some top tips on framing your video. You want to make sure that there's roughly 2 to 3 fingers width between the top of your head and the top of the screen. Then at the bottom of the screen, it should roughly be hitting you around mid-chest level. And then you also want to make sure that there's these sort of triangles of space around you. They should be pretty much triangles, so you should feel like you're taking up most of this, especially if you're moving around a little bit, and that there's these nice areas of space. Doesn't matter what's in them, remember, background doesn't matter, but there's these nice areas of space so your audience feels like they're in the room. They can see enough of the room to feel very present there. So that's kind of where you want to be within the frame. I want to just demonstrate a couple of the typical mistakes that people tend to make to show you what a difference it makes. So first, a lot of people are too low in the frame. Now you're seeing a lot of the room, and it feels a little bit weird, doesn't it? Or like even if I'm down here, it just doesn't, it feels like, wait, the head isn't the focal point of the video. So you want to make sure that you're up here with just a couple fingers width between you and the top. The other mistake people make is being too close. If I'm right up here, it feels like I'm coming out of the screen at you. It's a little intense and it can feel like you're being shouted at. And plus for me, I'd rather not show you my face this close up. So then the other mistake is being, oh, what did I crash into? It's being too far from the screen, from the camera. It feels then like, oh, you know, it's hard to have this real conversation. It feels to me like I'm shouting at you, and it probably feels to you like, wait, what is she saying? Like, it doesn't feel like this wonderful, intimate, connected conversation. So let me scoot back up. So your framing does not have to be perfect. Again, it's just a guideline, but you roughly want to see yourself as taking up this middle triangle of the screen and that your face is the focal point here. So just before you start, just double check your setup. If you're using a laptop or a selfie camera, it's very easy because you can see yourself. If you're using one where you can't see yourself on the screen, just set yourself up, check it, you know, maybe take a short video, check it, and then try again to record the actual video so that you know that you're framed pretty well. So try that out today. And that brings me to today's prompt. And today's prompt is special because I find that one of the most connecting things on videos is when we can share our stories and we can share some of the things that have brought us to where we are. Now, the big challenge on this particular prompt will be for you to stay within 2 minutes, but do give it a go. So for today, I'd like for you to share with us the story of overcoming an obstacle to get where you are today. This can be absolutely any obstacle. You don't have to go super personal if it feels uncomfortable to you, but just think about, well, what are some of the things that I had to overcome to get to the position that I am right now? It could be things from your childhood all the way through to, you know, something that you had to overcome last week, okay? But also in sharing things that we overcome, it makes us all more human to each other. We realize that we all have obstacles and we all have things we have to overcome. So for me, I want to share with you what I had to overcome in order to create my own business. So I actually started an internet business like 10 years ago, just over 10 years ago now. And originally I was selling other people's products and services. So I would find cool products that I'd like and promote them, essentially doing kind of affiliate marketing and that kind of thing. And it was great, and I found that it was very easy because I didn't have to feel exposed at all. But what happened was, after a time, it became incredibly dissatisfying because I had all of these things that I wanted to say. I had this like sense inside me that there were things that I needed to share with the world, that I had to go and get out there. But I was unbelievably scared. Like, I'm actually getting chills thinking about it now. I was petrified. I tend to be a very anxious person. I like to control my world because I get so scared. I mean, when I was a teenager, I had full-blown OCD and had to be treated for that and everything. That's a story for another day. But having overcome that and knowing that I had to do this thing, I got to this point where the feeling inside of me of wanting to share my message with the world and wanting to create products that were totally me began to feel stronger than the fear. And so to overcome the fear, I would do this technique that is actually how I trained myself out of obsessive compulsive disorder, which is I would do things that were scary simply to gather evidence for myself. So I would say to myself, I'm going to record a video. I know it's really scary, but once I record it, that will become evidence that I can record a video without anything bad happening. So I would then go and record the video and I'd go, okay, great. And then the next time I would have that evidence that I had done something scary and that I was safe. And then I would push myself a little bit further and a little bit further and a little bit further. So in a way, I used my fears as things to move me forward. I would say, I'm scared of this, so now I have to prove to myself that it can be done safely, and then it comes into my realm of control, of feeling safe, and then I can keep pushing that realm further and further out. And that's the only way that I've ever actually done anything in my business, is a slow pushing further and further out. It's the same with the challenges, these video challenges. I started my first ever one with 30 people. And it was terrifying. I was so scared. And each challenge, honestly, I have to admit, I get scared. I get scared going, oh my gosh, there's this many people, and how can I make sure that I serve them all? And all this stuff comes up, and I go, well, remember last time, you survived that. This one will become evidence for the next time. And that's how I've continuously pushed through my obstacles. I don't know if I kept that to 2 minutes, but I did my darndest. So that's how I got through the obstacle of knowing that I had to create my own business, but being really scared. So I'm really looking forward to hearing about you today and learning some of your stories about how you overcame obstacles. So don't forget, eye contact with the lens, face lit, heart open, and share with us today how you've overcome an obstacle to get where you are today.